YouTube. My name is Joe and I am a weapon of mass instruction. Alright, last time we talked about the sights on your pistol or other firearm. Alright, how to employ them, how to use them effectively and not mess up when you're trying to hit your target. This episode I'm going to be talking about your trigger. Alright, how to squeeze it properly. Alright, I also want to apologize for the long delay in filming this episode. Tried it one time, tried to upload and the file was corrupt. Long story. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I will be aided by my Versa Thunder 380cc. Alright, and anytime you're working with a firearm in the home, either cleaning it or practicing anything, make sure to clear the action. Alright, clear the action, make sure there's nothing left over inside that firearm. Alright, any sort of ammo or other garbage that might get in your way or cause you to accidentally shoot something. That's no good. Okay, so first, what kind of triggers are there out there? It depends on what kind of firearm you've got. Alright, this pistol right here has an external hammer. That'll tell you right away that it's either single action only or double action and single action, usually. Alright, sometimes you have external hammers that are double action only. Alright, so different types of triggers. Right now, that hammer is forward, alright, which means that if it were able to fire, it would be a double action trigger pull. It'll be a long, heavy draw, and then once you get all the way to the back, that's when it fires. Alright, right there, it's about to go off, just like that, okay? That's your double action. Some types of firearms, like I said, are double action only. Alright, then you've got revolvers that are going to start out double action, and then some of them you can cock the hammer, make it single action. Alright, if the hammer is to the rear, like that, it's going to be a single action trigger pull. On certain self-loading pistols like the Desert Eagle or the 1911, it's a single. If the hammer is forward, it will not fire. Same thing with certain revolvers, and you'll be able to find that out when you get your revolver, it should say so in the manual, or other firearms, whatever the case may be. With my pistol, when that first shot fires, it's going to be that double action. After that, the slide will operate the way it's supposed to, and then every shot after the first is going to be single action, okay? Now, single action is going to feel a little bit different, and of course double action too, but the main thing to remember is double action is a long, heavy draw. Single action is a light and generally short draw, okay? So with this pistol, the single action means that when you squeeze the trigger, it's going to start out really close to the back, and you apply a little bit of pressure, and right there you're going to find that you feel a little bit of resistance. That breaking point is right there where that hammer is about to drop, okay? So once you get through that breaking point, then the gun will fire. Alright, so that's your different types of triggers. A couple of weird ones out there, like the Glock series pistols will usually have what's called the safe action system. Right? I say usually because I imagine eventually they'll expand into more conventional designs, but they haven't yet. But everybody does eventually. They don't always stick to just that one thing. Safe action system basically is a series of safeties that start out engaged, and as you draw back on the trigger, you're going to feel that the trigger feels a little bit more stiff the further back you are, alright, and it'll disengage more safeties the further back you go. That helps to ensure prevention negligent discharges, alright, basically the gun going off when you don't want it to. Very handy for cops. That's why a lot of cops out there use Glock series pistols. You've got stuff like the Springfield XD, I believe the Smith & Wesson M&P, the Ruger LCP, and SR9, 40. All those pistols have internal hammers. Those ones are actually single action. I believe the Smith & Wesson is a copycat of the Glock safe action system. The Springfield XDs and XDMs are single action only, and then the Ruger LCP, if you have a misfire, you can squeeze the trigger again, I believe, and it's a double action after that. Or I might be thinking of the freaking Baby Desert Eagle, not to be confused with the Baby Eagle, which is the Jericho. Right? Baby Desert Eagle is a plastic piece of crap. You don't want to buy it. It's going to break on you pretty quickly. Anyway, oh, and high point pistols. That's another one, usually with an internal hammer. Again, don't buy those. Piece of crap. All right. So I have a little ditty that the Marine Corps taught me, and basically it goes like this: slow, steady squeeze, straight to the rear. Surprise, hold, ease, clunk, all right? And I actually had a guy at the range who was also a Marine tell me that that was basically a load of crap. Well, it might seem like it once you get more experience under the belt, but your fundamentals are there for a reason. You can't ignore them no matter how much training you get. Just don't ignore them. They're there because it's what keeps you alive and keeps you shooting, all right? Slow, steady squeeze, straight to the rear, surprise, hold, ease, clunk. All right, that's what you should remember to start off with, especially if you're having trouble with that draw on the trigger. If you continually see your shots going a little bit low, that tells you you're going too fast on the trigger. You need to slow it down. You need to apply just a little bit of pressure at a time. Find that breaking point. Don't rush your way through it. All right, so I'm going to demonstrate on both double action and single action. Double action is pretty straightforward, all right, and it's going to be that long, steady draw, slow and smooth. Slow and smooth, just like that. I actually went a little bit too fast. You can kind of tell if your gun jerks slightly when you're dry firing it. In certain pistols and other firearms, you shouldn't dry fire. 22s are a good example, and I believe 1911s as well, but I'm not sure on that. Ask your gunsmith and ask for a second opinion as well. You know, get your opinions from multiple people, because sometimes people are misinformed. This one, it's not so bad, but eventually any gun you dry fire, it's going to wear down. All right. Things to look out for: if you have something on the muzzle of your gun, like a coin, which I don't have handy, it'll help you to see whether you're drawing smoothly on the trigger or not. All right. So I'm going to run through that ditty in single action mode. Okay. It's that slow, steady squeeze straight to the rear. In my case, you find that slight resistance at the end. I like to pause for a split second, double check my sights, make sure everything's good to go. Surprise, right? That's when the hammer falls, the shot goes off, and it should surprise you. Don't expect it to happen, or else you'll end up pulling that gun down, right? You notice I'm holding my finger back there, okay? Hold, and what's going to happen is that firearm will operate. It'll reset itself, okay? Notice that hammer's back now. And as you ease off of the trigger, you hear that click? That's the trigger resetting, all right? That tells you that it's immediately ready to fire. So what you can do is, if you're trying to maintain a sustained rate of fire on a target, all right, ease back, the gun operates, ease forward, and ease back, all right? And you can get shots off really quickly that way, depending on how well you can handle the recoil of your firearm and other different factors, all right? I already covered a couple of your do's and don'ts. Don't jerk that trigger. Don't slap it. All right. If you start with your finger all the way forward and you go all the way back immediately, it's going to move your hand. It's going to move your gun, and you're not going to maintain your sight alignment on the target the way you need to. All right. Don't anticipate your shots. That again plays into your other fundamentals. All right. But basically, if you think about your recoil, it's going to happen after your shot goes off, which means that if you anticipate it, you're moving the gun beforehand, and you're going to miss that shot. All right, so focus on that trigger. Focus on making sure you go as slowly and smoothly as possible. Smoothness is the key thing, all right? As you gain practice, you can speed up your trigger draw, but as long as you maintain that smoothness of your shot, you should be A-okay, all right? That concludes this evening's lesson, all right? I do have a question for all of you out there in the internet, and my question for you today is, what is your favorite kind of trigger? All right, is it double action, single action, safe action system, or any combination of the three, and why? All right, leave your responses in the comment section below. Again, my name is Joe, and I am a weapon of mass instruction, and I will see you next time.